This video is sponsored by DistroKid. Hello YouTube, it's Acoustic again, back with another video from the home studio. And I'm in the middle of the process of setting up my new studio space right now to move out of this home studio. In this video I will be dealing with the acoustic treatment of the room and share a little bit about my thought process behind all that. So, let's go.
Accurate beats.
Now, first off, there are a bunch of self-proclaimed experts on this topic all over YouTube. I'm not trying to be one of them. Please take everything I do and everything I say in this video with at least a grain of salt. I'm not trying to build a super professional recording studio. I'm a beat maker and a YouTuber, and I'm making a studio for myself. That's good enough for me to be able to do all the stuff I love doing. If you're building a studio and you want some super professional results out of the acoustic treatment, there are really no shortcuts here. You need to speak to a professional, like an acoustician who comes to your place to do some measurements in the room and gives you some professional, real advice on what to do in different frequency spectrums of the entire audio range. One option could be to buy one of those mics yourself. Some of them are kind of affordable, and use that together with a free piece of software to at least get a sense of what's going on in your room. In my case though, I'm not doing any of that for the studio. I'm just saying that I've seen people on YouTube making their own acoustic panels using like hand towels, which is not a good idea. I also saw a guy making his own acoustic panels as they're supposed to be made, with a wooden frame and rock wool inside of it. But he also ended up wrapping his entire rock wool panel in aluminum foil, which kind of defeats the purpose in my book. However, the two most common types of acoustic panels in a studio space or something like that is absorbers or diffusers. And when it comes to absorbers, for instance, normal like acoustic panels that you see everywhere, everything about them kind of matters. The size actually really matters in this case, and yeah, the thickness too, as well as the density, the number of panels that you're going to use, the placement of the panels, the placement of your studio monitors. You know, this entire thing is definitely a science. I'm not a scientist, and what I'm going to do in this new studio is not scientific at all. I want to put a full disclaimer here, because these foam absorbers and the diffusers I'm going to use has been sent to me by Thomann and their in-house brand for acoustic treatment called t.akustik. Thomann is this huge music store based in Germany and has shown me a lot of support over the years. I was invited to their Synth event in 2019 to visit their store, and now they hooked me up with some acoustic treatment for my new studio. What I specifically have here is the rehearsal room set medium advanced, which seems to be a good fit for what I'm aiming for. Links to t.akustik are of course in the description below if you want to check out something like that for yourself. And on top of that, I was also able to get my hands on some homemade DIY acoustic panels built by probably the person who had this room before me, and I'm able to use them however I want in here. So a combination of them and the stuff from t.akustik will make this room sound a lot better than without any acoustic treatment at all. Since this room is built to be a rehearsal room for bands, two of the walls has an angle to them, and they are slanted at 5 degrees inwards, which isn't bad at all for acoustics. It prevents standing waves from like bouncing too far, at least to some degree, you know. But it might also become a little bit tricky for me to mount my acoustic panels in the corners where I really want them, at least 2 of them. I'm gonna deal with all that stuff today, and it's gonna be a lot of work, so let's just get into it. Now I've taken all the acoustic treatment out of this room, and this is what it sounds like without anything on the walls at all. 1, 2, 1, 2. And I'm going to start by installing the acoustic foam from t.akustik on the front wall and the stuff that goes in the corners on the back wall. I actually ended up cutting pieces of cardboard out of the boxes that it came in and glued those pieces to the foam instead of gluing the foam straight to the wall. I left them to dry and then used double-sided tape and command strips to secure the panels to the wall itself. That way I can actually use these foam panels again in a different studio if I ever need to.
Check it out, it's all good. It's all good. Check it out, so good. It's all good. Listen. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. All good.
Alright, so test number 2, now with the t.akustik foam panels set up over here, as well as in the corners behind the camera and the diffusers on the back wall. I still have 4 of these ones to install, but yeah, this is what it sounds like right now. This is my voice, 1, 2, 1, 2. As I said, this is not scientifically made at all, but I can definitely hear a difference in here right now, but it needs to be improved even more. So let's install some more stuff and see how that goes. I'm sure that getting this new studio will enable me to make even more beats and videos than before. And this entire thing wouldn't have been possible without the support of you guys. Watching my videos on YouTube, generating a little bit of revenue like that, and that helps a long way. But another part of that is also working with sponsors, like this week's sponsor, DistroKid. DistroKid is a music distribution service that I encourage everyone that makes music to check out. It's an affordable and simple way to get your music onto places like Spotify, Tidal, Apple Music, TikTok, and many others. Less than $20 a year allows you to upload an unlimited amount of music onto DistroKid. Upload your music and the album art once, and DistroKid handles all the distribution and all the financial stuff and makes sure that you're getting paid accordingly. They also have different tools that you can use to submit your music to different playlists, create videos from your music, and easy ways to share everything all at once on social media. Make sure to use my link in the description down below for an additional discount. Thanks a lot to DistroKid for sponsoring the video, and now let's get back to talking about this stuff. Now it's the second day of this entire process and the room is starting to sound a lot better. It's not done yet, but it's better. The back wall is pretty much done. The front wall has the absorbers in the corners as well as the foam in the middle of it, and I also added one over there. But according to the sketch I put together at home in InDesign, I want to put another panel like this one on the opposite wall, but that's not really possible. I totally forgot about this one. It's not on my sketch and I haven't thought about it once, but I'm realizing now that I can't put a panel over there. Well, I can, but not like this. That's not gonna work. Which means I'm gonna have to flip it around and put it like this. Or maybe a bigger one to try to get the same kind of height as that one. I don't know, let's give it a try. 115. 150, yeah. I don't really know, because that one's kind of heavy and that's one of the walls with an angle. I need to think about this for a second and finish my coffee and then get to work, okay? I ended up going with the smaller of the two panels on that wall, and I might actually replace it for the bigger one later on, but let's stop the video right here because I was editing this part of the video the morning after, which is now today, and I realized that this kind of didn't make sense at all. Why put the smaller one here when I have a bigger one? And in the long run, I might want to put one of the absorbers on the ceiling because I haven't done that yet, and I won't because that feels difficult and sounds a bit dangerous to do by yourself, so I might get to that whenever I have someone around to help me out. And this one could go nicely on the ceiling where the bigger one would be too big, just because of the lights. So let's replace the smaller one with the bigger one on this wall because that kind of makes sense in every single way. And just like that, the bigger panel is now in place, which feels a lot better. Now let's get back to the stuff I did here yesterday. But I still have 4 of these ones to place somewhere, and I think they will go nicely on the front wall together with the other ones. Right? And that basically means that I'm done with the acoustic treatment of the new studio. That feels kind of crazy to say, but it's been a lot of work and I think it paid off. I still haven't done anything to the ceiling and I think I'm gonna get to that later on, but for now, this is what it is. I ended up with this nice combination of the DIY homemade acoustic panels that was in here and the foam panels from t.akustik in the corners, on the front wall, and the diffusers on the back wall. Again, I'm not an expert on this, but I feel like this room ended up sounding a lot better than it was totally untreated. Which obviously makes sense, but it's not 100% dead, it's not 100% lively or echoey or reverby or whatever. And I also got to keep in mind that this room is completely empty right now. This desk right here is not gonna stay, It's really tiny and I might keep it in like a corner or something, but I'm gonna put a proper desk right here, a bigger table over here, my 3-tier synth stand over here, and maybe the Kallax with all the records and stuff somewhere around here too. I'm also gonna get some sort of chair or a smaller couch or something like that, like a bigger soft furniture for my daughter to chill in whenever she visits, or for me to just hang out in whenever I need to kick back a little bit. And you know, all the gear, all the cables, all the stuff, that's also going to affect the acoustics of the room, and I think this is a good place to start. Let's do one more quick audio test here, and let me just clean this place up and leave for the day, come back here tomorrow and start thinking about desks and tables and stuff like that. Now the last audio test with all the acoustic treatment done to the room, all the absorbers, all the diffusers, all the panels and everything. So this is what my voice sounds like. 1, 2, 1, 2. And hopefully that massive difference comes through on camera too. Let's just hope for the best. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And this might sound a bit corny, but I'm really enjoying making videos about this. It feels less lonely somehow. And you know, I just appreciate you guys for watching and sharing stuff in the comments and stuff like that. So please keep that coming. That kind of helps this old engine to spin. And that's it. Thanks a lot for watching this video. I hope to see you guys in the next one. Until then, ha det gott.
Accurate beats.